And I want to find love so bad, and my job wouldn't let me. So I actually quit my job to be here.
Love is Blind is simultaneously the best and worst show I've ever watched in my life because I've only watched, full disclaimer, I've only watched 3.5 episodes at this point, and I am stressed. Somehow they're a mix of like boring and interesting, and I'm so not sure who still applies for this show because it's weird. You probably won't get chosen. People will criticize you so freaking much. You will probably, I don't, no one is becoming famous on this. I don't know anyone. I will go back and check, but like, I don't know who's like popping off making full time influencer careers. Like Natalie and Deepti, they fully quit their job. They're full time influencers, but they have like 1 million followers. I just like don't think anyone's getting that level of fame anymore. So you really have to be in the trenches. Again, I don't know how you go on the show. I don't get it. But like the moment this show comes into the city I'm living, the problem is like they've already done a Houston season, garbage. They already did a Dallas season, also garbage, but like kind of fun. So like I'll give them a pass. But the moment they do a Brooklyn, New York, I'm there. I'm applying. I'm out here. Will I get selected? Probably not. But will I apply? Very much so, yes. So let's get started on the season. The season is set in DC. Again, why? Okay, so what I found about Love is Blind, they like a perfect little mix of like a big city, but like not too big of a city. Like something like, like that's like popular, but like not too poppin'. Like, I don't know if they would, well, they did Chicago. New York is just too big, just do a New York. Cause like you go on the show and like, oh yeah, someone's gonna be like, oh, I live in Poughkeepsie, and I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. That's like a long distance relationship. That's like not gonna fly. Seattle, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but like you get the gist. So this season is in DC. They don't really mention where anyone is from. We just assume you're in the greater area. But the problem is like with DC is like it could be Maryland, it could be Virginia. You could like actually live in DC. Apparently no one lives in DC, but you could live in DC. Anyway, so we start with like the stereotypical like intros where Nick and Vanessa Lachey. So glad you guys are still together. Love that for you. Smooches. I'm so glad you guys did not probably cheat in your partners at the time, but wink wink. It's fine. We'll let it go. I think that's called what's called American cheating. Like no one cares if you're cheating if you are still with your partner. The one that comes to mind that like really hits me is Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. Both married when they met on The Voice, but swear nothing happened. But it's like, are we stupid? Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater, they met while filming Wicked. Both are together now, and they're both married at the time. Are we stupid? No, but it's like so fun and so cool because like they're married or like gonna be married. So it's like so chill. It's not chill at all. I'm really bothered by it, but like, yeah, we keep it pushing. The first person we actually meet is Ashley A, who has always wanted to be married. Like that's her big thing. Marriage is her goal, and I just like don't relate to that. I think that's like kind of weird about me these shows is that I just like have never related to like just wanting to be married, like wanting to be married so freaking bad that I will quit my job. That's a little spoiler for you. So there's this girl Hannah, 26, who says she left her high Totten Floughton wealthy job of being a medical device sales. I looked up the salaries for this. It is like 76 to 98. Okay. Again, she could be the top seller in the district. Maybe she's Keelan Bank, but like I don't think you're leaving this big prestigious job. I'm so sorry. Crazy of you. But also go off, sis. I just like don't think it's necessary to quit your job for this because like I don't know if they have to do quarantine protocols anymore, but I'm assuming it's like maybe a week as long as you're vaccinated, and then you have 10 days in the pod, so just take all your PTO, and then they're just gonna be calling you a bunch like where are you, and like I think you just use all your vacation days. Yes, it'll be stressful, yes, you won't be happy about it, but like it'll be fine, and then you could just start working from home once you're out of Mexico. So I think realistically you only need actual days, maybe 15, maybe 20, which would be a lot because I'd be taking off 4 weeks. But I think they'd be okay. I think they'd be good. It's very, very hard to hire. So I promise you your job will probably still be there when you get back. Just saying. The very, very first couple we meet is Tyler and Ashley. And I'm calling it. I think they're going to get married. They seem so cute. I like love their vibe. Typically the very first couple that they show us is the one that ends up getting married. Again, I've watched all 7 seasons. Love it or hate it. I've been here since day one. there's not a true villain. There has not been a true villain. But for me, my very first villain is Nick D. He's just way, way too flirty. Like, he's giving, like, douchebag guy you tell your friends not to worry about. Like, all of his friends are female.
So you were shooting guard, weren't you?
How'd you know?
I mean, I could tell by the voice.
Okay.
I honestly think he makes out the pods he's gonna ruin someone's life. Like, that's what I think at this point, because I just do not. Again, I am me. I do not trust really nice people. I do not trust really flirty people. I'm so sorry. It makes me feel weird. Maybe I need to go to therapy about it, but like, I probably won't because I'm like not that pressed about it, but like, whatever. He said he's never been in love and he's 28. But like, this is something I get. I'm also 28. And I've never been in love. Like, I go about it sometimes. I'm thinking, like, maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But, like, I honestly just, maybe I could have been there. But I think love takes a very secureness to, like, deep dive. That's just something I have never felt. I'm in the place that I think I'm ready for that. But I think it's just very scary. Nick meets Hannah. I have a feeling that they're going to get married. I just, like, maybe not married, but I just engaged on the pods. Do not know why. Hannah, again, quit her job. She's 26. I don't think anyone under the age of 30, maybe even 32, has any business being on Love is Blind. I just don't. Because you have to be so like hopeless, or I don't want to say you have to be hopeless to go on Love is Blind. I don't believe that. But like, to be that young and not think that you could find anyone, I think that's why it's like you have to be out here like looking for celebrity or fame, because otherwise, like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, you should, again, I know it's hard out here, but I think Love is Blind is harder. I think it's emotionally taxing. You're putting yourself and getting subjected to like the whole entire internet. Like, everyone watches this show. Maybe not everyone sticks with it, but like, this is in the cultural zeitgeist. This will be a popular trending show. Like, people will be talking about you, especially if you make it out of the pods. And I just like don't know what the true value is at that point. My neighbors are having, I don't know if you guys hear, but my neighbors are having a party. Like, they used to have parties all the time. It's been a minute though, but I swore we've had 3 birthday parties this year, so I don't know if roommates have changed. Anyway, I digress, as always. But one thing Hannah talks about, not to Nick, but to us, the viewer, they do a lot less like one-on-one segments than they typically do. But one thing she talks about is that like Nick gives her the vibes of that someone who wouldn't like her if she was 250 pounds. Again, she also says she's also the kind of guy who she wouldn't want to fall asleep with again next to if she wasn't wearing makeup. Again, you're looking for a husband, not for a boyfriend. So like, they're just different things you have to like think about, sweetie. They're just like different, it's like a little bit different criteria, and that is one of them. And I think it's because like Nick is very verbose. He's like, oh yeah, I was like a college athlete, football, I don't know, football positions, like running back, linebacker, kicker back. Again, he's also a little tiny dude. To me, he looks really tiny. I don't know how tiny he is. Maybe like 5'9", 5'10". He's giving a little tiny energy. I don't know how tall he'd be playing football. But that's what he's selling himself as, like, suave and a hot football player, in all honesty. Because she also talks about being a cheerleader, that we keep like a little football cheerleader. He's like, I'm like the Travis Kelce to your Taylor Swift. He's like, I'm like Travis Kelce, but like hotter. I don't think Travis Kelce is cute. I don't. But he is no Travis Kelce. There's this one man who we'll get into more later who does look like Travis Kelce. This man does not look like Travis Kelce. The next person that we meet, we're setting up a love triangle. I feel like every single time I don't say they force a love triangle. I think the shows are just like natural to have love triangles. We have 2 this season, which is so cute, so fun. We are introduced to Leo, our rich boy with a heart of gold who doesn't want anyone to know he's rich, but he also can't help telling everyone that he's rich.
Own it now. I ended up inheriting it. But one of my biggest insecurities is that a girl only wants me like for money.
Like, he's like, oh, I have a Rolex. He's like, oh, like, you know, but like, I became very young. I inherited all this money because everyone kept dying from cancer. Wild. If I met someone and he was like, my grandparents died from cancer and both of my parents died from cancer in a very short period of time, I'd be like, I don't even love you yet. I don't know if I'm ready for the sickness and health journey, because those are some very, very bad odds, but I guess you made it out okay. But he's always dropping about that. And his big concern is that he wants someone to fall in love with him, not just for his money. But he keeps mentioning that he has money. So it's just always really weird because, sir, this is the best opportunity you had for someone to know zero about you, and you lead first, like full chest first about your wealth. No one's making you do that. You chose to do that. So shut your mouth, and it's your problem, because you probably just like, no one, you know what, why? Okay, I'm going my diatribe about Leo very early, but you know why you feel like no one wants you outside of your money is because that is all you have as your personality. That is the only personality that you have cultivated, is someone who has money. I have learned nothing substantial about you. Maybe, yes, your parent, again, your family died. I'm not saying this like not substantive. Okay, I'm sorry, not. But like, you hopefully get my point. Again, and also I know the show's edited. I know the show is completely edited. But I have seen nothing in this man that is not talking about wealth, manipulation, wanting to be loved. I do not know anything about you. I'm so sorry. Leo and Hannah meet and they kind of hit it off. He really likes that she does not give a fuck about who he is, and because she does not know what an art dealer is. She does not understand what art dealing does. Like, art dealing gives like wealthy guy energy. Or well-to-do guy, because like, no, it's just like an art dealer. If someone, okay, thought experiment for you. Someone gave you a piece of art today. Let's say, what do I have next to me? I don't think I have any parts of art. Let's say someone gave you this remote, okay? And they're like, this is a high value piece of art by this really great modeler. This is all made out of clay. It's hand molded, just to give you the experience of what the consumerism is like. Who would you sell it to? And I was like, this is we want like 10 million, but like, you know what, maybe one, like, she's just very up and coming. Like, who do you know? Who do you know? You would have to know wealthy people to sell them art. It's like not something you can just like show up and try the best. Like, there's no public act. Like, you just aren't in the papers and seeing someone talk about art. Like real estate maybe, but like, no one's just doing that. So Hannah is going into like some of her concerns with Nick directly, because like Hannah tries to break up with Nick, which I think is like a little fun thing on her behalf. Like, but again, she feels off. And one thing she says, so Hannah is in the pods, as all the girls do, and one thing she's talking about is that like her insecurities and concerns with Nick, which are all valid. One of them is like she thinks that Nick is just someone who wants her because she is bikini hot, and it is one of her issues, and he's portraying himself as just to have issues, so she's like very concerned about that fact. I've seen discourses on the internet, which I really hate, about how people were like, oh, well, Hannah's like setting herself up because like she's like saying that she's like this cheerleader. Again, guys, just because someone is not a thin size 0 does not mean they aren't meant to be seen or feel like they're attractive. I'm so sorry if you feel like people who aren't thin, white, blonde, 2 out of the 3 Hannah has, are entitled to feel attractive. I feel attractive. I am not white, blonde, or thin. I can be considered thinner than some people, but some people I follow and I think are the most gorgeous freaking people are darker than me, bigger than me, gorgeous. So like, I just don't agree with this statement. I think Hannah is entitled to feel however the fuck she wants to feel. But as Hannah is talking about this, Brittany walks in, and Brittany, I have not talked about Brittany yet. Oh my gosh. Okay, Brittany describes herself as she works in skincare, and she volunteers in like natural habitats, like beach cleanups, and that's who she is. She has exclusively dated football players, athletes, and rock stars. That is her type. She is definitely leaning first with a trophy, like wanting a trophy, being a trophy wife. I really appreciate that, because like it's so fun, because I really disliked her at first because her voice is really annoying. I think it's an act. I would love to hear. I'm hoping she starts talking more. I would love to see how she actually is. We've never had this woman on Love is Blind. It's different, it's real, it's true. Like, she has a great conversation with Leo where when she learns that he is there's this TikTok on Sir, it's so funny. It's like the perfect example of what was happening here. But a moment Leo was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm an art dealer. She's like, oh, baby's rich. And she's like, I would love my very first kid to like be named Leo. He's like, that's weird. She's like, okay, Levi. And then she goes on to talking about like 50-50. And then she says, which again, I clocked it quick. She was like, oh yeah, I'm not a 50-50 girl. But then she's like, my last relationship, it was 100-0. Love that for you, girl. If I could pull that off, I'd be pulling it off. And someone might be like, where's the feminism where's the feminism? I'm sorry, I don't care sometimes, okay? Sometimes you just want to look cute and be pretty, and that is something I feel like I'm entitled to as a woman. Come at me. I have a job. I have a master's degree. I'm also doing these silly little videos. I have lots to bring to the table, but sometimes you just don't want to. And I think that's what people really miss about the whole like trophy wife discourse, because there is a talent that you don't have and I don't have, because we are doing this right now, that it takes to be a trophy wife. And honestly, I think if we could, a lot of us would. That's all I'm saying. And one thing I want to mention, like, I literally laughed when I saw this thing, because she was like, I'm assuming you're white. Leo gives off white. Leo, like, a lot of them, like, you might just infer somewhere, but like, Leo gives off that I'm a white man. That is all I'm gonna say. I'm really happy to see Taylor. We haven't seen an Asian person make it out of the pod since I think season 3, which feels crazy. I feel like there was someone mixed. Okay, I'm gonna say I think like season 3. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. These two, Garrett and Taylor, I love them. They're giving nerd love. So Taylor is I think an environmental like activist or policy scientist, and Garrett is a physicist. And they bond over that he has an uncertainty principle tattoo and she has a hydrogen tattoo. So geeky, so weird. I love it. Love that for them. On one of their later dates, he does describe her in the relationship as like Shrek 2. And I'm like, what? And he's like, well, no, it's like once you get out of the mud and you actually realize like who that person really is and everything they have to offer. And I'm like, I agree. The Shrek films are great. Great allegory, great stories, like great thematic about like, you know, people who idealize like beauty and perception. And then once that's taken away from you, what you have to actually be defined by like your worth and like finding love along the way. Beautiful story. Amazing. Something I didn't love about them in this very first episode is that she is very, very careful to not say any information that would just that you could tell that she was of color, Asian. And he took this as her hiding things and holding things back, because especially because she says like oh yeah, we haven't really talked about ethnicity, which I think only someone who is of color says ethnicity. I don't think white people say ethnicity like that. And he also says that he's only ever dated white girls and he doesn't know what it would be like or what the relationship will look like because she is an ethnicity, whatever it is. I do think that like, especially people who are white, you do have your own choices. By like, again, I live in New York. I was in Central Park the other day and someone was having a birthday party in the park. All 25, 30 guests who were at this picnic were all white. And I think what people miss about whiteness, and some white people have like multicultural friends, they seek it in places, but a lot of white people just aren't. Like, they're just naturally in spaces and environments where that's all they've seen, all they've interacted with, and that is his life. And so I get why you would say that he just doesn't know what it looks like, because he probably does not. He just probably knows no interracial couples, probably has no people in like his parents' life that he can like know what it would even be like. So I get the concern, but to be like, oh, she's hiding something because she doesn't like disclose some information that might be like, if I was like, yeah, you know, like Juneteenth, I was in the Juneteenth parade and like, oh, we went to the cookout, me and my aunt, like, it kind of paints a very particular picture. And I get that she wants to hold that back because she really wants it to be a pure experience. And I think it's an inner trauma that she has had about like someone thinking certain things because of her being Asian and the relationship. So I get that. That's her own experience. That's her own experience. Okay, another couple, one of the last couples we end with are Tim and Alex. And I'm like, are we going to get two full black, again, I say full black, but I mean full black couples? I mean, like, typically we're lucky if we get one. Usually they're interracial, so two would be like so fun. And both black girls, I think these are outside of Alexis and the Dallas season. I think these are like some of the non-traditional size girls we have seen on Love is Blind who make it out of the pot. So I love that. Gorgeous, curvy, beautiful. Alex tells this really great story, which is one of the things I tell people all the time, is that men are 60% more, I guess, just more likely to leave their spouse or partner in a heterosexual relationship the moment they become sick with anything. So what Alex tells the story is that both their parents have MS. Wild, like literally wild. This is just traumatic couple, but both their parents have MS. Her stepmom and dad have been together for like 20 something years. And you know, when her dad got worse, stepmom still stayed. She's like, yep, she bathes him, feeds him, helps him with everything, and like they're so strong. But her mom, who also has has MS, has been with her partner for 15 years. There's already something there, guys, but like we're not talking about that right now. When her MS got worse and she started working on Cade, he left. And so for her, it's really, really important that who she chooses as a partner is willing to stay. And I think that's like a lot of people say, like people get like married really early or like really young. So like you don't know if someone is actually willing to go through with that very hard thing with you. And then that Tim, on the other hand, lost both of his siblings. One was to lupus. The other one, I don't recall what it was. I don't think it was mentioned. He talked about how it's really important to share it with people that you care. And one of the things that he says that I think is really cool, he's like, I don't want to get married. I want to die married. And I really do hope they get married. I hope it works out. I think their relationship feels very, very intense early on. Again, I don't know what days they are, but like they're dressing really fancy in this. So this feels like I think one of their first or second dates. Okay, so we end the episode, and that's where we end the episode. So we end the episode with Hannah basically breaking up with Nick, being like, I just don't feel the vibes. Brittany popping out and being like, oh, Leo, oops.
I have to pee so bad. I'm about to pee my pants. Oh my God. I was like, Leo, oh.
My first initial thoughts are the couples I foresee, I think I already mentioned, like Tim and Alex, I think the other, Ashley and someone, Garrett and Taylor. Look, they edit it so it's like so obvious that you know who the couples are. I don't think it's too worthwhile, but like I'm very, very concerned about this whole Hannah, Nick, Leo, Brittany thing. I just like don't see it panning out too well. Like I don't trust it. I'm so happy for Taylor and Garrett. Love them so much. And I also want to say like the editing just seems off. I'm gonna be clocking it more as I'm watching the next few episodes, but like the editing just seems like so. All right, and that is where we leave off of this episode with Hannah being like, Nick, you're just too smooth. You're gonna ruin my life. So like, I can't do this. Again, set your boundary, keep your boundary. And then Brittany popping out being, oh, and Leo saying, she's like, oh, whoop. Yeah, and I think what's happening there is that like, I think Brittany is now like, wait a second, Leo, who is my main, has someone else who I think is the traditional beauty standard, or her traditional beauty standard, and I need to make sure I have my backup plan. That is what I was picking up from that, as like she's like, I want to make sure I have my backup plan. All right, guys, that is our recap and little chit chat for episode 1 of season 7 of Love is Blind. Let me know how you like the side editing style. I'm gonna do a lot less clips than I normally do, just because it's just time consuming and taxing. Maybe I will when there's like not so many, but there's just 6 episodes. There are 6 freaking episodes, so it's so much episodes. And I just like the discourse. Like I love just chit chatting about the people and the couples. If you don't have Netflix, that's not my problem. You just go watch the show, or you just believe me because I'm giving you all the context you need, so I don't get why you would need the clips in the first place. But anyway, guys, I'm Kaya Simone. Please give this video a like and subscribe and comment. The more you do that, the more I know you guys like this, and I'll prioritize it in my life. Our goal, as always, is to get 1,000 subscribers, and I would love you guys to be Go through on with me. All right, thanks. Bye.